my name is Chamaka Nhadiga and you are welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, please do well to subscribe, like any of the contents that you find interesting, and then put on the notification bell on, so that you get to know when I post new videos. Okay, so today I am going to be doing a real get off time with me. Okay, like something happened 2 days ago and I kind of wanted to do it immediately, but I knew I wanted a video part of that thing, because I also want people to see like a visible reaction, so the last video that I did, I was talking about 2 new things that I learned in the past week, and nothing really prepared me for what I have just learned a few days ago, and it's just so funny and intriguing at the same time. But yeah, so before we get into the gist, as usual, something in between, small personal gist going on. So I'm okay. I choose to be okay. I want to be okay. So every day I am working towards being okay for myself. Okay, I'm really trying my best to not let what is happening around me get to me. Okay, because I allowed that in the past, and I shrank. But this time around, nope, I'm not doing that. But that's not even the gist. The gist is that it's still very much hot in Abuja, and Chamaka is sweating like she stole somebody's money. I didn't steal anybody's money, but like the way I'm sweating these days, I literally have to stay hydrated, like super hydrated, and I am doing my best about that. I guess that's why my skin is popping. But yeah, was there any particular gist? Really? Yeah, I think I've gotten to a point where in my life where I literally shouldn't be shocked or surprised about somebody getting married, especially people that I know about. In like 2 days, I've found out that 2 people that I once knew, or like were close to a certain extent, are getting married. And my friend came by the hospital yesterday, and I was asking her, all these people that are getting married, where are they finding the men? And we just laughed about it, and then she asked me again. I'm like, I literally just asked you, like, where are they finding these people, like, honestly? But then I would always be happy to hear the news, because one, I might be going for the wedding, I'll be eating wedding rice, I might be wearing ashrebi or something. So, and generally I'm just happy for them. Okay, and then for the few days now, I've noticed that a lot of married people actually have very, very, very huge age gap between them. In like 3 days now, I have registered couples, like their children. But when we're registering parents, right? So when we're registering children, we ask for the age of the parents as at the time the child was born. So sometimes the women don't know, or sometimes the men don't know. So when we do the whole calculation, you get to know how many years this one is older than the other one, and it has been amazing. People are out here getting married to people who are 19 years, 20 years. 15 can be understandable, but 19 years? I think what made me even do that calculation was I registered one, and she's 29, and then her husband is 48. And I was like, 48, 20, like 29 out of 48, 19 years. I was like, wow, really? But then it made sense, because a lot of older men go for younger ladies. I hear it's because of stress. They don't want older people to stress them. But so as they live together and everything, you start to see clearly the age differentiation and everything. Well, as long as they are doing well in their marriage, could see wahala, like it's nobody's business. Okay, so at this junction we're gonna go into the gist. I do not want to bore you. I think there was something in particular I wanted to tell you about, but I can't remember at this point what it is. But whatever it is, I'm sure is okay. So today is Thursday, 24th of March. I have had a very stressful day. In fact, I'm literally cheating right now. I have minutes that I'm supposed to have finished doing, but I feel like my brain needs a break from computer, phone, or anything. I just want to rest. I'm keeping my fingers crossed I'll be able to finish this night. But I remember I'm going to be making bitter leaf soup at home, so I just really want to be over with that minute. This is my first time writing minutes for the Lectors Association in my parish, and I don't want to get to the point where I'll be hurried to submit the minutes so that people can read through before the meeting, because we're having meeting on Saturday. So that whole pressure, and then this week has just been like very busy. Like I haven't slept well. Like the week has been very busy, and I don't know what's happening. So the day that I set out to prepare the minutes, eventually something happened. So last weekend my colleague's baby wasn't feeling well. Well, I got to know Monday that the baby wasn't feeling well, but she was getting better. So today, on Tuesday, when the baby was fed, baby is 6 months now, so the baby have started taking solids. So the baby had pap, and then the nanny at the daycare was like, your baby is breathing somehow, it's not normal, she shouldn't be breathing like that. So in spirit of a mother, she stood up, went in, picked her child, and then she's like, and then they were wearing busy, and she's like, oh, that's she's going to the pediatric clinic to just talk to a doctor that something is wrong with her baby. And it was, when I was thinking about the whole thing, I was actually living my Bible story. I am not even bragging right now, just chill. My English name is Ruth, and if you're a Christian, you know the story of Ruth in the Bible. So it was later when I was like processing the whole thing, I was like, come on. When my colleague was like, okay, I'm going to get my baby and I'm coming inside the hospital to see if I can see any doctor to check her, and just immediately I was like, I'm coming with you. Number one, is very hot. Like, as at that point, like thinking about it, I was very hot. Outside is very hot. Anything to come inside to just move away from this. And again, I had not seen her baby that day, and I just really wanted to just follow her and see what they were going to say, because she was like, the baby was getting better. So I just followed her in. We thought as per we're working in the hospital, we're going to enjoy some I work in the hospital privileges, but it turns out that we didn't enjoy that. Okay, we went to the pediatrics ward to see the nurses or something. Like, we're looking for doctors to check the baby, and everyone was like, you need to get a card. Like, they wouldn't even consider that we work here to just skim at the baby and see, and then ask us, okay, it's advisable you get a card. Everyone, you need to get, if you see the faces, these are people that will want help from us, and they will beg and say, and the first line they will start with is, I'm a staff, I work in this hospital, but we're in need, almost emergency, and you are telling us to go and get a car. But you know what, thank God I was with her. I started doing that whole running around. We had to run downstairs, get a card, pay for it, do the whole filling, then time to wait for doctor. We waited, and then I eventually ran in to speak to my friend to call one of the doctors. Unfortunately, he was busy in the emergency, so he had to finish whatever it was he was doing there, and then he came back, and then it took a few minutes and then checked the baby. Now, one of the intriguing things about that day for me was immediately we rushed the baby in, her temperature started going up. While all these things was happening, her mom became stressed. My colleague was losing it. She's a first time mom. My colleague was losing it, and I was really trying to be there for her. And this baby was just laughing, kicking her legs, making sounds, making noise. I'm learning now. Noise. And I carried her, like, okay, for that moment I didn't want to carry her. I just wanted my colleague to be the one to hold her baby. I would just look at the child, I'm like, your mother is literally panicking and you're smiling, making noise and all. Especially when her body temperature had gone so high, she had to take off her clothes. From the time I started working in the hospital, and then to the time my colleague gave birth and the whole grooming thing started, I never prayed to see a day where my colleague could relate with some mothers when they bring their children to see the children's doctor. What I mean by that is that sometimes when they bring the smaller humans, when they develop something and they need to bring them to the hospital, the mother will always take the child. There's one spot outside the hospital, like within the hospital, but like outside the main building, where there's a tap there. So the doctors will always tell the mothers to go and pour water on the baby. When by the time my colleague's baby's temperature was going high, I was like, wow. And then she was like, I need to go and pour water on her body. I was like, I never knew we were going to go to this point, but we were there. And this baby was still laughing, making noise, enjoying herself. You will look at her and you think nothing, like the baby was okay, but the baby was not fine. Her breathing was like, it's more like when you're snoring, that sound. So in her nostrils, like when she's breathing, and you could hear it, and then her breathing wasn't normal. My colleague took a bottle to pour water on her body. I'm like, nah, that thing you're doing is not it. She has been wearing the pampers, she has been for a little bit of time, so don't worry, you have enough. Just remove the pampers and pour the babe correct water and then put in a new pampers. All this while I was helping her do all the running around. We finally saw the doctor, and then so many drugs, there were injections and everything. My colleague literally doesn't know anywhere inside the hospital. I'm the one that does. So she was just walking up and down like she knew everybody. I was like, I'm with you, right? And I'm the one showing the places, so just calm down. So she was almost leaving me to go and get the drugs. I'm like, do you know where you're getting the drugs? And then she will remember like, oh yeah, it's true, you're with me, kind of a thing. The love of a mother is just, words cannot describe it. I think I had those words on the particular day it happened, but I had a bad day when I got home, so I couldn't even get myself to do any audio recordings. But mothers are really, I don't know, the whole thing is just, I can't put it to words now. But if you've gotten to this part and you're hearing me, I think you will nod your head and you will agree with me that love of a mother is just amazing. Amazing is not the word, but let's just use that for this video. The whole running around thing was just amazing. And at that point her husband's number was not reachable. She was panicking. After seeing the doctor, she went to get the drugs, and then it turned out that the baby needs to do blood work as well. So another intriguing thing was the temperature again went up, and one of the medications that the doctor wrote was diclofenac for children. I think it's 12 milligram. I'm working in the hospital, you have to cling on something, okay? So I heard the diclo needs to be started. Okay, yeah, my friend Florence was saying something about my colleague getting paracetamol or diclo, but that time we're running up and down. I did not remember the name until the doc she was talking about it, that the doctor wrote something, how do we use it, kind of a thing. It turns out that this diclo is like, it's a medication. I don't know how to describe it. It's a medication, but it's supposed to be inserted into the child's butt. It helps to calm, like bring down the temperature. I was like, what? Like, in my life, I never knew that was one of the things I was going to be learning on that particular day in that kind of situation. Like, never would I have thought that it, like, when a child is running temperature, like, there's something that you can insert, even paracetamol, that you can insert it into the baby's butt, and then it will help the baby to, calm down, and the temperature will calm down and everything. So my colleague's baby's temperature started going up again, and there in my presence, the nurse, I had a wipe. She took out one of the diclos, she opened it, and then she inserted it. The baby didn't cry because it's more like cream, but it's molded. It's in a particular shape, so that it's easier to be inserted. I was like, wow. I know any insertion is more like when a lady has infection and you have to insert one of the medication. I never knew that there is a medication to drop children's temperature that can be that kind of a thing. It was an eye opener, and it was one unforgettable thing. And then one other thing that I learned that day was, usually I grew up in a place where you don't keep drugs, so when you're sick you need to go to the hospital, or at least go to the pharmacy and get something before you go to the hospital. But that day it made me realize that at least I should have first aid with me. Like, I've gotten to that stage, I'm an adult, I should be able to cater for myself, right? So now I currently even have vitamin C and paracetamol in the house, like by the side of my bed, just in case I'm having headache and it's not food, and I've rested and it's still not like coming down. But then it made me realize, as a parent, I'm supposed to have that diclo, I'm supposed to have the children's paracetamol, and I'm supposed to also have thermometer. So for you to put that diclo, you need to check the baby's temperature. My colleague's baby's temperature was like 37. The normal is 36. So when is from 37 thereabouts, yes, you need to check the child before you administer the diclo. I was like, okay. I think another thing that made my day was when it got down to doing the blood work. My colleague cannot stand her baby receiving injections. She cannot stand it. So she was already carrying the baby, and it was time to withdraw blood. Baby is so fluffy, so getting a baby's vein is a very, 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 very difficult thing. I'll try to put clips here because I know I did a recording, but I didn't show the baby's face. It's so painful. So she was fidgeting, she was just losing it. I was like, okay, don't worry, I will carry her. And I carried her baby, and when that man started, the way he was poking her, I was like, because when I had to confirm my PCV test, I asked him, like, the other one was to prick me here and get blood. I was like, I suggested to him that the other way to just get this blood is by pricking the baby, and that was how we were able to get blood for him to do the blood work and everything. And hearing a baby cry is one of the most difficult things, but I don't know how I managed to hold through. I didn't cry, but I know deep down I couldn't even express how I felt. So that's to show you how I was just in that bubble. I'm like, what's going on, kind of a thing. I mean, if it was me, I did be crying even as an adult, that you want to prick me, and then I'm holding it. It was terrible because she was screaming and everything. But the whole thing just boiled down to me, in my own opinion. It was more like, I'm a fan of not doing long distance relationships. I feel like for marriage is a big deal for me. I can't do it. Like whatever it is that's going to take you away from me, and that thing cannot accommodate me. I don't want. I want to be close to you. I've had a very interesting growing up history, and I know what I'm saying. So if I cannot be with him where he is, I do not see any relevance of that union, because where are you when I need you? My colleague's husband later came. Yeah, he later came and helped out. Like I had to leave, and then he came in and covered the whole thing. And I was imagining, so what if the husband wasn't around? This woman was going to lose it. I don't even think my colleague would be in a right state of mind to go home that day. I see men, when their wives or their children are sick, they are with the woman all through the day. Yes, I get job careers can be a problem, but I really appreciate those who are present when their wives need them. Like I can go on and on telling you how I admire that so much, but because taking care of a child is not easy. Being pregnant alone is not easy, and then catering for a child, especially when they're sick, they can't tell you this is how they feel. Oh, my body is hot. Or you have to be the one checking. So what happens when the other person's brain is going popcorn and then there's no other person to help? So I was just thinking about it. I was like, people really need to really genuinely make a decision before they end up with people. You can't just like somebody because they've got money, or you like something about them that you like, and because of that's why you're going in with them. Hell no, don't do that. People pretend, and then when you are now in the same room, they start to manifest, and you might not be able to handle that. So honestly, marry your person, pray for your person, marry your person. If you're the person's person, try to be there for the person. Yeah, I can't do long distance. I can't do any long distance anything. I can't do that, because that day with my colleague, I was like, no, I can't do it. It's not Chamaka. I can't do it. I want my person to be there. Yes, call me Gumbody or whatever it is. No, I prefer we're in the same city, or maybe at a particular point you're not around. In fact, I don't prefer meeting. Yeah, I do prefer meeting. I just want the person to be there. Especially when there are issues, be there. Because people's physical appearance or presence really just suits you and puts you in a place where you're like, yes, I feel safe. I'm not alone. I can do this, okay? But yeah, that was how the whole thing went for me. I feel like that day I had a master class about taking care of a child. Koro koro, as Nigerians would say, and honestly, it was amazing. But then, at the end of the day, really, no matter how you have experiences, your own time is always going to be different. Yeah. But then I'm just really grateful that I was able to experience that. So now I know a few things. So it adds to my knowledge. When my own time comes, things are going to be different. But then I already have like something to get hold of before for that consultation or something. My colleague is the first time home, so everything is just new to her. But for me, I'm not a mom yet, but then I'm learning. But anyway, so I just really wanted to come here and get it off with you. I'm not really in that getting it off like on camera, but trust me, I've gotten this one off. But anyways, hope you enjoyed this one. Give it a thumbs up if you do, and I hope you keep on being safe and choosing yourself, and do what makes you feel good in a positive way, please. And I will see you next time.